facilitators yet to have their sessions?
Well, I guess the big learning, and sorry, I may have got off track because I'm buzzing with what I've learned, is around, we basically lost half an hour because of technology, and just to be okay with that, because I could have really let it throw me, and got really anxious about it, but I think holding that lightly and just saying to everyone, well, that's technology, and can't it be, isn't it crappy sometimes? Just meant that everyone, it's what it's like. So it's not like I didn't have to take responsibility and I didn't have to make it throw me. It was like, how do you hold those glitches in a way that you kind of go, okay, well, it is what it is. We've still got the time we've got left. Just don't turn it into a big thing.
That speaks to me of the learning around navigating what could be drama and just allowing it to have been what it was, and then staying present with yourself and with your intention to contribute, and to be mindful of how to make the most of the time you did have. So I'm really celebrating that from the point of view of like your patience with the technology as it took its time to get sorted, but also your skill at navigating that and stepping forward regardless. So yeah, thanks so much. I'm keeping an eye out for Lynn and wondering, guessing there she is. Just as
I'm here. Just attempting not to use too much bandwidth because, man, those dropouts. What was great was that they happened at the second half rather than the first half. So we'd done enough work so that they were holding themselves. I kept dropping out, but they were still okay. Which, so hilariously the game was playing itself without even me needing to be there for some of the time. And we had a great conversation about those moments when we did drop out and how sometimes they were quite pivotal moments when all of us dropped out or when I dropped out, and what did it mean? What was the game telling us about how we should just stop and think for a moment? So that was really delightful. None of them had played the game, and all of them just absolutely embraced it 100%, 110%, and were really into it and had a great experience. I wondered about whether kind of tech-wise would have been, I was almost kicking myself at the start to not issue my own Zoom invitation to them and do it separately out of the construction of this, and whether that might have been a better, less technologically fraught kind of little moment. I don't know if that would have made a difference or not. Maybe Sundays is when everyone's on Netflix in Brimley, and so nothing is going to make a difference. I don't know.
Oh, I'm so appreciative of your patience with the dropouts and the fact that you could navigate that too. Like I do think we've done a big piece of learning this afternoon about if we're going to have multiple sessions happening at once, let's commit to that as a community, to have the breakout sessions be in different rooms. And I had imagined originally that it would be some value to have that all coming together at the beginning, to do some shared introduction to the game or in some other way that we thought that was going to be helpful. And in retrospect, now we've learned. But thank you so much for stepping in and being willing to be a host today. It means a lot to me. I have this sense of each of you, holding a part of it with me in terms of like taking care. There was a community taking care today. So really appreciate it. Thanks, Linette. Mel, how about you?
I had an extraordinary afternoon, really extraordinary. And I just want to offer that it was actually you that kept me very calm. It was like, I was almost a little bit surprised that you said you had a mini meltdown, because I was like, you were so calm. It was like, there was, and maybe I think it was the game too. I wonder if in any other context my heart rate would have gone up at all. And it just kind of didn't. It was just like, and I appreciate like my own part in it. Like it's like I kicked off a series of unfortunate events or something. And in past, I might have got into sort of shame spiral about that, it was just like complete acceptance. It is what it is. And yes, there's some technical learning. So what I realized very early on, right at the start, and I didn't get a chance to kind of, everyone was on there together, was that I was in the Zoom link inside Shed and I couldn't see everyone. And I'm like, I can't host a game where I can't see everyone sitting in circle. And so that's what caused me to get onto Zoom. And I was trying to ask you before everyone arrived and it didn't get a chance. And so anyway, it was just that. And so that's what I realize is that, and I don't know because I've never worked with Shed before, and my experiences in working online and have been hosting quite complex participatory processes online using Zoom over the last couple of months, is that it's absolutely possible, and it's probably best within Zoom rather than embedded in another, because and I realized the limitations of you know, me being you, which meant that you weren't you being me. Anyway, it was just amazing acceptance. And I felt it actually added. It didn't take away, it added. So, and you know, the micro reflects the macro. So it's again, micro, you know, things that we can't control. Right? And how are we in that? So how do I show up? And so I was really quite astounded about, like, our story kept going. It was like, we didn't start playing, I think, until 3:30 was when we finally, so it was like we had a break. So maybe it was 3:45 before we rolled the first die.
Really? Why, Mel?
So we had, I'm just aware that this is being recorded, so I don't want to sort of go into personal stories, but one of our players didn't end up playing with us, and which was fine. It was like, it was perfectly as it was supposed to be. Like everything just worked out as it was supposed to be, and we didn't start till 3:45. So I ended up bringing a question because there was 3 of us. I knew both of the women, and so I asked permission. They're like, yes, please, just to add a bit more kind of, and because, you know, to have skin in the game, real skin in the game when it's such a small group. And it was so easeful. It was beautiful. Really, I got incredible insight out of my one round, and personally, and I'm aware I don't get a chance to play very much. It's hosting, so it's like that was a bit of a delight actually. So I'm just reflecting on the fact that the game was at play from the very start. It's often like that. It's like, right, you know, we're in the game already. But there is something about people being prepared, like, being a bit ready to come in with a question. And particularly we had, you know, like Kate's played a lot and quite a bit, and the other 2 participants hadn't played before, and that was okay. So it was good. It was good. I think that certainly Kat got a great deal of, was good. So yeah, I don't know, delightful experience. And I think all the more delightful because of what, in another realm or another perspective, it's like the flow game shows up different perspectives. Is that, could have been seen as, oh my gosh, everything that went wrong. But like, what if everything went just as it was supposed to be, perfectly?
Mm.
Kind of feels like that. There was just such ease and flow. I'm like, I'm just smiling, going, oh yeah. So it was good for me, is also how I noticed how I was in that. And that's, I'd like to show up more like that all the time in the turmoil, yeah. So good little practice.
Oh, I love hearing all of that. Thank you so much. What a gift. I'm so glad we have started to embed this as a practice, to hear it from everyone after just such a rich reflection already of each of your experiences. And my best practiced calm was at play while we had our meltdown together. And once everybody was right, then it was like, mini meltdown now. It was like I gave myself permission after it was all good, just to go, oh, okay, let the body feel all of that anxiety that I just held while we functioned with it. So, and I had a moment actually of sadness that I hadn't enrolled myself in one of the games. So actually, I think the game helped bring me in, even though I wasn't a player. The game brought me in, and I